Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Steven here with Team Euphoric, and this is day 10 of the 80 Days to Your Dream Body course. Today's protein source is bacon, and today's an active recovery day. And since it is the end of block 2, I'm going to be explaining the importance of healthy habit number 2, which is creating a pre-bed ritual. Now let's get started. Healthy habit number 2 of 16 is to create a pre-bed ritual. Sleep is incredibly important. That is when your muscle repairs itself, your soft tissue grows, your body synthesizes proteins, and also hormones are going to be released. Some of the key hormones that are going to be released during sleep are melatonin, which helps to regulate the sleep-wake cycles, growth hormone, which is important for growth and cellular repair, and also leptin and ghrelin, which helps to regulate your appetite. With regard to leptin and ghrelin, ghrelin is your hunger hormone, and that's going to let you know when you are hungry and want to eat, and leptin lets you know when you are full. With regard to ghrelin, ghrelin has also been linked to poor decision making. So if you get a bad night's sleep, your ghrelin's going to be elevated, and not only are you going to be hungrier first thing in the morning, but you're also going to be much more likely to eat terrible foods because you're going to be making poor decisions. Now, with regard to sleep, for the average person, anywhere from 7 to 9 hours of sleep is going to be ideal. However, there are some people that have rare genetic mutations that will allow them to get a lot less sleep and still be completely fully functional. If you happen to be one of these rare genetic outliers and you have a genetic mutation to the ADRB1 gene or the DEC2 gene, you can get away with about 4 to 6 hours of sleep. However, it is very, very rare. Less than 1 in 100,000 people have these genetic mutations. But if you are the type of person where you suffer from poor sleep and you would like to improve your sleep so that you can improve your overall health, I'm going to share with you guys 10 effective habits that you could do with regard to creating a pre-bed ritual so that you can get a better sleep and improve your overall health, and it'll also help you to lose weight. Number one, first thing you want to do is limit your screen time 2 to 3 hours before bed. When you are looking at any type of screen, it's going to emit blue light, and blue light is going to interfere with your body's production of melatonin. And if you recall, melatonin is the hormone that is responsible for regulating the sleep wake cycles. If you are going to be on your screens before bed, one of the things that you could do is put on some blue light blocker glasses, or on your phone, if it has a blue light blocker setting, turn that on. That way, you don't get that blue light, and you'll still be able to produce melatonin in adequate amounts, and you will have good sleep wake cycles. Next, what you would want to do is use dimmers and blackout curtains. With regard to dimmers, at nighttime, if you have all the lights on, it's completely bright, it's going to really interfere with your body because one of the things with regard to light is it interferes with the natural circadian rhythms. Prior to electricity, we woke up when the sun rose and we went to bed when the sun set. Now we have all of this artificial light blasting in our eyes. So, from a physiological and from an evolutionary standpoint, our body can't differentiate if it's night or not based off of the amount of light that we are getting. So, if you do have a lot of lights in your home, I would recommend installing some dimmers and dimming them a couple of hours before bed, as well as taking some blackout curtains to your room. If you have any windows in your room whatsoever, blackout curtains are absolutely terrific. The as pitch black as you can get your room is going to be ideal. If you can put up blackout curtains, ideally you have no windows in your room at all. But if you put up blackout curtains, you're not going to be able to see any light whatsoever, and it will greatly improve the quality of your sleep. The third thing that you could do is remove all electronics from the bedroom. This Part of it goes back to limiting the screen time 2 to 3 hours before bed. But then the other thing is a lot of people, they tend to use their cell phones as their alarm clock. Me, I have an analog clock instead of using a digital one or my phone. And the thing with regard to using your phone for an alarm clock is if you end up putting it even on airplane mode, it's going to affect your delta brainwaves. And your delta brainwaves, those are the most reliable markers we have for measuring sleep. So even on airplane mode, if you have it on airplane mode for up to 2 hours after you are off your phone, those delta brainwaves are going to be suppressed, and it's going to interfere your sleep, and not just your sleep, but your deep REM sleep. Another thing is you could take a hot Epsom salt bath before bed. Epsom salt is going to be really, really rich in magnesium, which is a really good muscle relaxant. Plus, it's nice and calming. So if you take a nice hot Epsom salt before bed, you're going to be really relaxed. Your muscles are going to be nice and calm, and it's going to make it easier for you to fall asleep. The fifth thing that you could do is use some calming essential oils or incense. Lavender and clary sage are two great essential oils that you can use for bed. For me personally, I am not a fan of lavender just because I do not like the smell. So for me, I would like to either light incense, and the incense that I light would be sage, or I would just put some clary sage in a diffuser and just allow the aroma to fill up the room, and it's really, really great for going to bed. But those would be my top two choices. I would say lavender and clary sage. If you're like me and you don't really like the scent of lavender, opt for clary sage. The sixth thing that you would want to do is make sure that you keep your room cool. Anywhere between 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit or 15 to 19 degrees Celsius would be ideal. And you want to make sure that you are wearing breathable, light, loose clothing and breathable bedding. The reason is it is going to help to regulate your body's temperature. If you're wearing things like polyester, your body's going to trap in all of that humidity and it's going to make it really, really uncomfortable when you go to bed. So something like pure cotton, 100% cotton, would be ideal when you are going to bed. The seventh thing that you would want to do is write in a grateful log before bed. And three questions that I have my clients answer in their grateful log is one, what are two things that I did for somebody that made their day easier? What are two things that people did for me that made my life easier? And what are two things that happened to me today that I am grateful for? By answering these three questions, a few things. One, it's going to calm your mind, make it a lot easier for you to go to bed. You're going to be less anxious. The other thing is by looking for two things that you did for people or two things that people did for you, we tend to be very, very negative and we only focus on the negative. So when you are writing in your grateful log, this is going to shift your mindset and allow you to focus on the positives. Then, the eighth thing that you could do is to write a to-do list before bed. This is going to help clear your mind of any racing thoughts. A lot of people, especially if they have very, very busy and hectic lives, they have so much going on the next day, and it can be very, very overwhelming. So if you know that you have a shit ton of stuff to do the next day, write everything that you have to get done. That way you know exactly what you have to do the next day. It'll be out of your mind, and you can just sleep nice and soundly. And then the last thing would be some sleep supplements. With regard to sleep supplements, one of my favorites is ashwagandha. Ashwagandha, it's an adaptogen, and it helps you to manage stress and anxiety. Next thing that you could do is take some magnesium threonate. Magnesium threonate is great for calming the nervous system, and also it is a highly bioavailable form of magnesium, so your body's going to be able to readily absorb most of it. Next thing is going to be GABA. GABA is a neurotransmitter. It helps to calm down the nervous system, and also it is going to help to reduce any type of stress and anxiety that you are experiencing. You could also take glycine. Glycine is going to be an amino acid, and it is great for enhancing sleep. It's also going to reduce any type of morning fatigue. So if you find that you're a little bit groggy first thing in the morning, glycine would be terrific before bed. Another thing that you could do is take melatonin. We already mentioned this a couple times with melatonin. It's a hormone that helps to regulate your sleep wake cycles. With regard to melatonin, this isn't something that you would want to take on a regular basis because it can interfere with your body's natural ability to produce melatonin. So melatonin, I would only really take this as a last case resort. Let's say you have something the next day and it's causing you a lot of anxiety and you can't get it out of your head and it's making it really difficult for you to fall asleep. This would be something where once in a while you would take melatonin, but I wouldn't recommend taking it every single day. The next thing is going to be valerian root. When I take valerian root, I like to drink it in tea form, and valerian root is going to be great because it has a lot of sedative properties, and also it is going to be great for regulating your sleep-wake cycles. Next, what you want to do is take some medicinal marijuana if it is legal in your country. CBD or low THC strains can be terrific for sleep. I take it every night before I go to bed because my mind is always racing, and this just kind of helps to calm me down. With regard to marijuana, a lot of people have misconceptions and they have very outdated ways of thinking of it. They think of indica and sativa, but really you want to look at the terpene profiles because the different terpenes in the marijuana strains, that's going to dictate the effect that it has. Some are going to be more calming and some are going to be more energizing. With regard to the calming terpenes, one of them is going to be linalool. Another one is myrcene. Another is going to be beta caryophyllene. Another is going to be terpinolene. There's humulene, and then there's bisabolol. Those are going to be the terrific terpenes that are going to help to calm you down, make it reduce anxiety, and just make it easier for you to fall asleep. So those are the ones that you would like to stay. There is one where it's 50-50. There's one called limonene. Limonene, it can be very energetic, and for some people, it can have a paradoxical effect, and it can be very, very calming. But generally, I would stick away from limonene unless you want to take it in the morning as an energizer. You could try it out. Be cautious though, because it can kind of give you a little bit of an energy boost. And then the last thing, you want to make sure that you have your head on the pillow by 10 p.m. If you have your head on the pillow by 10 p.m., you're going to be able to get a nice long night's rest. You're going to be able to hit that 7 to 9 hours of sleep, and you should be completely refreshed. Thanks for sticking around until the end of the video. Be sure to like, share, and leave a comment as it'll help the algorithm. And if you enjoyed the content, show your support by subscribing to the channel by clicking on the icon in the bottom right corner. And if you really want to show your support, then consider becoming a member by clicking on the icon in the bottom left corner. These new high quality videos aren't cheap to edit, and the $5 membership will really help with the video editing budget. You'll also get access to a ton of exclusive perks like early access to videos and this program design lecture playlist in the top right hand corner. And if you want to learn how to do a one armed pull up, then check out the playlist on the top left corner.